parents live in Highland. Kacee was in Highland. I've got an aunt in Saratoga. We've got some cousins around that live in Utah County as well.
All right, and you mentioned Kacee. Who was Kacee to you?
My sister.
Do you have any other siblings?
I do not.
Can I show you Exhibit 9? It always blinks on and off for a minute while it's trying to wake up. Okay. Do you recognize who is depicted in that exhibit?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Kacee Bella.
Do you recall when that photograph was taken?
It's probably 5 years, maybe. I don't know.
Is that a photo that you had of Kacee?
Yes.
The state moves to admit Exhibit 9.
No objection.
Court receives State's Exhibit 9. Wish to publish?
Please, Judge. All right, you had mentioned that this is Kacee with Bella. Who's Bella?
Her baby.
That would be the dog.
The dog.
And you say her baby. Why do you say it that way?
Because that dog meant more to Kacee than anybody.
How did that attachment express itself to you?
Oh, there would be times that I'd ask her if she wanted to go to lunch or to a movie or something, and she didn't want to leave Bella home alone. So she did not. She loved that dog, and that dog was the first thing, top priority to her.
When you listed the family that you had in the area, you didn't mention parents. Did you? What happened to your parents?
They both passed away.
When did you lose your mom?
August 1989.
1989. How old were you at the time?
I had just turned 5.
How old was Kacee?
3.
What was your mom's cause of death? Do you recall that?
Complications from a kidney transplant.
Was that a long, sort of stressful end of life for your mom?
Yeah, we were both young, but that's all I remember is the hospital.
And what about your father? You said he had passed away also.
Yeah.
When did he go?
He passed away February 15th, 2011.
All right. So at that time, if I can do math, which is always questionable. No, I can't. How old would you have been?
How old would I have been?
Yeah.
Mid-20s.
And what about Kacee?
She's 15 months younger than me, so.
So early 20s for her. And what was his cause of death?
He had congestive heart failure, and it was acute liver failure that was rapid within a few days. There wasn't anything that they could do. It was just on set. And by the time we got into the hospital, it was too late to do anything.
Who took over for your mom once she died when you were little?
I always tell everybody we were like Full House. We didn't have we had a Jesse and Danny and everybody, but we had aunts and uncles that stepped in. My grandparents helped us a lot. My dad was a single dad. He never remarried, and he just raised me and Kacee by himself. And so we had aunts and uncles. We were lucky enough to have our cousins that lived a few doors down that, were like extra siblings to us. And we had people in our ward that stepped up. And we didn't have a mom, but we had family that stepped in for sure.
How would you describe your relationship with this extended family? Well, your and Kacee's relationship with this extended family.
We were all really, really close.
And how did that express itself?
There was always an ongoing thing. My dad would say randomly, like once or twice a month, "Hey, somebody get a cake. It's somebody's birthday in the world today, so stop at the store and grab a cake." And we'd meet at our house and cousins would all filter in and we'd have cake. And that was just our way of always like getting everybody together. We were, yeah,
Having a reason to gather.
yeah, it was somebody's birthday in the world, so we had cake.
You have been present through this trial so far, is that accurate?
Yes,
And Mr. Williams had mentioned that typically witnesses are kept outside until they testify. You have not stayed outside?
No.
Why?
because I am the only left living in our family.
Okay, you are the representative for Kacee.
Yes,
Right. And so you just recently now have heard your family dynamic described as being abusive to Kacee?
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
No.
Were your grandparents abusive to her?
No.
Were you?
No.
Any other family members mean or abusive to Kacee?
No.
Up until 2024, up and through 2024, what was your relationship like with Kacee?
She was my little sister. I mean, my whole life I've grown up with her. We shared the same clothes, we shared the same friends. She was a daily part of my life.
Did you communicate frequently?
Yeah, almost daily.
I'm sorry to be upsetting to you. If you need a minute, just let me know. Okay?
Thanks.
How did you communicate with Kacee?
She would call throughout the day, but every day when I would drive home, I would have a 40-minute commute or so, and I would talk to her on my way home.
Did you share personal information and hopes and wants and dreams and all that kind of stuff?
We just, sure, yeah. I mean, we talked about everything.
How often were you able to see each other in person?
Not as much as I would have liked
Why was that?
because she was sick, and I have 4 kids and I work full-time
And when you say she was sick, what do you mean by that?
for cancer.
So she told you she had cancer?
Yes.
When did she tell you that?
Maybe around 2015-ish.
2015?
Mhm.
What did she tell you about it?
She had leukemia.
And how did you respond?
I asked her how I could help, what we needed to do.
Did you see any evidence of receiving treatment for cancer?
Yeah, she had a port, she had a bunch of medical supplies. I took her to doctor's appointments, fixed up prescriptions for her.
And you understood all of those to be related to treatment for cancer?
Yes,
Were you aware of her kidney issues?
yes.
What did you know about that?
When Kacee was 3 weeks old, she had a bowel blockage and her bowel perforated. And so they had to do emergency surgery on her. And at that time, they found that she only had 1 kidney, 1 fallopian tube, and 1 ovary.
Did that cause her any health considerations as she was growing up?
No. With diabetes running in our family and her only having 1 kidney, it was common that my grandma would check our blood often, just to make sure that, we were in line.
So you had family members that were engaged and concerned about your and Kacee's medical conditions?
Oh, yes.
Did you have any other awareness of any other medical conditions that Kacee had besides the kidney and the cancer?
I know that she had always complained about endometriosis and heavy bleeding. Her knees bothered her a lot.
Okay, what type of symptomology did she, other than the heavy bleeding, did she experience or did she express to you about the endometriosis? Was that a painful condition to her?
Yeah.
And what about the knees?
Yeah.
Also painful?
Yes.
What did she do about those issues?
She had surgeries for both of them.
When was the surgery for her knees?
A couple weeks prior to her death, she had surgery on 1 knee and plans to have surgery on the other knee after she healed.
What was your understanding of what the surgery was for, other than just it was for her knees? What did you understand that surgery to do for her?
improve her quality of life.
Was it just to fix a problem, or did she have a knee replacement, or what was your understanding of the surgery?
That it was bone on bone and very painful for her. It limited her into, even going up the stairs at my grandparents' house, she had a hard time walking. She had a hard time taking Bella out to the point where she would just go out on the patio with Bella instead of being able to take her up and to the yard. They bought her a little leash that was in the ground by the stairs, so at least Bella could run up the stairs and go potty and then come back down. So it did limit.
And you saw that yourself, that her
Yes.
movement was difficult and painful. Were you aware of any mental health issues with Kacee?
No.
What about anxiety or depression?
Yes.
You knew her to have those. What did she do about those situations?
She'd call me. It could even be 2 o'clock in the morning, and she would call in a panic attack. And I took many phone calls out on my living room couch in the middle of the night, so I didn't wake my husband up, or in our closet. I'd just get up and go, and sometimes it would be an hour that we just sit and talk.
Did that anxiety or panic attacks? So she still suffered that at the time she died.
Yes.
And what about depression?
Off and on. Yes.
Did she ever? How did depression? How did you see that affecting her?
It would come in phases. When her health was bad and she couldn't do the things that she was wanting to do. There was a time where she didn't have a job, she didn't have a car. And when you're stuck at home and you don't feel good and you don't have the energy to go out with friends, you don't have a car to go to the gas station to get a drink, and you're just home, it can take a toll on you.
And what would she say to you about that?
Not really anything other than she was going to get her knee fixed, and then Mark ended up getting her a job, and then things just turned around for her. Me and her ex-husband were able to get her a car, and she just had her life turned back around, and she had her car, she had her freedom. She was feeling a lot better after her surgery.
Okay, let me come back to that. Did she ever express to you in the times that she had downtimes that you mentioned, any intent or desire to die by suicide?
No.
Did she ever express any plan to die by suicide?
No.
Did you ever ask for your help in dying by suicide?
No.
You said that she had her life back. She'd gotten a car, she'd gotten her knee fixed, she had a job. How soon before her death did all of that happen?
Within a year.
All right, and so on or before August 12th, 2024, what did you perceive Kacee's attitude about life to be?
Happy. She was a lot more upbeat than I had seen her in a long time.
And how long had that been the case?
Been
happier.
for a year or two before she passed.
Right. Was your relationship with Kacee close enough that you feel she would have confided in you if suicide intention was an issue?
Yes.
Were you familiar with her friends?
Yes.
Who were they?
Her best friend is Michelle Taney, and then she had Meggan, Liz. There were a couple other girls from work, but I don't remember their names. It may have been, they went to dinner or something, but those weren't her, close friends. They were more work friends.
You've heard Meggan being described as Kacee's best friend. Was that your perception of the relationship?
No.
What was your perception?
They started off as good friends, but their relationship throughout the years changed a lot.
Okay, let me ask you when they met. Do you know that? Do you recall?
I believe it was a couple of years after my dad died, so maybe around 2013 or 14.
Okay. And you said they were close at first. How did Kacee express that to you?
They were roommates. Kacee had an apartment in Lehigh, and for a little while, she lived there alone, and then she told me that she was gonna have a girl come that she works with, move in with her.
Was that the first time you heard about Meggan?
Yes.
Was when she said Meggan was gonna move in with her?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a yes?
Yes.
And how did things develop from there as far as you could perceive?
I mean, they were friends, they worked together. At that time, things were good for about a year, and then Kacee started questioning things a little bit, whether she trusted Meggan or not about the procedure she had done. I guess that was closer to when she was about ready to get married, is when things kind of started getting. Kacee was questioning their real friendship. She felt like Meggan was lying to her.
Right. And so you said that Meggan moved out. Do you recall roughly when that was?
I don't.
After Meggan moved out, did that seem to improve their relationship?
Maybe I don't know. At that point, they just worked together is all I knew of. I didn't know, like, how often they hung out or did anything.
All right. Were you aware of Kacee moving back in with Meggan and her husband at some point?
Yes.
Do you recall when that happened?
So after she lived in Lehigh in the apartments, Meggan and Mitch got married. Kacee couldn't afford to live there by herself, so I helped her get a place with another friend, Liz, in Provo. She lived there for a couple of years with Liz and then moved to Meggan, so it would have been maybe around 2015, I don't know, maybe 18.
Okay. I know it's hard to remember years.
Maybe 18, yeah.
Okay. Why did she discontinue living with Liz? Do you know?
The renters so Kacee lived in the upstairs of the house and Liz lived in the bottom. And the renters, I think, like, were trying to up their rent cost or something, and they just couldn't afford to live there anymore.
All right. So she went from living with Liz then to moving into Meggan and Mitch's home. How did you perceive their relationship during that time?
Kacee moved in, from what she told me, she moved in to help babysit Porter. That it was kind of a win-win for both of them. It was a place for her to stay and also a babysitter for Meggan's son.
All right. If, and I may be wrong on the year, it sounds to me from previous testimony that Porter was 5 in 2024, which would make his birth date somewhere in 2019. Does that help you pin down when Kacee moved in with Meggan and her husband?
Not right. I don't know if it's purposeful, but it's left. I'm sure. The exhibit.
Oh, I'm sorry, we can take that down.
Probably not. I did show up on my screen, so I didn't realize. I don't think it's.
Is your monitor not working?
I don't know what job it again. It wasn't on. That's why I didn't realize the picture to make a record of what exhibit is it. Exhibit 9 has been shown.
It's off now.
I don't think. I was trying to. I was attention to it. Remedy. Thank you.
Apologies. Do you remember the question I just
No.
asked? Oh, too bad.
I'm sorry.
I asked if that reminded you about when she would have moved in with Mitch and Meggan.
Yeah, Porter was little, within probably the first year.
So probably 2019 to 2020-ish?
Yeah.
Did you ever discuss a DNR or a power of attorney with Kacee?
Yes, she didn't have one,
How do you know that?
as she told me.
Why did you discuss it?
Because she told me that her cancer was getting worse, and so I told her we needed to get some things lined up, knowing that I'm her only person. I would probably be the one that would have to pay for all the finances, and things like that. So I asked her if we could go to lunch one day and sit down and her tell me what her wishes were.
Did you have that much?
We did,
Do you
yes.
recall when that happened?
Around 2020.
And during that conversation, that is when she told you she did not have a DNR?
Correct.
Did she intend to have one entered?
Not that I was ever aware of.
Did she indicate to you whether you or somebody else would be a power of attorney?
No.
What else did you discuss at that? Well, let me just try to cut some time here. And that was about in 2020. Did you ever discuss it again after that point in time?
A few little things here and there, like I could never get an answer out of her about what kind of treats she wanted, if there was an outfit that she wanted to, wear, or little things like that. But the main things that we talked about, not really.
All right, and you're talking about funeral plans right now.
Correct.
Having known her for her entire life and most of your life, who would you have expected that she would appoint for either a power of attorney or a DNR?
Me.
You just described yourself as her only person.
Yes.
From your communications with her, did you understand there to be anybody else in her life that would fit that role?
No.
How would you describe her interactions with Meggan from 2020 on, as far as you observed?
2020 on. A lot of fear from Kacee
Fear in what way?
that she would make Meggan mad.
Why did that make her afraid?
I'm not sure. She was always worried that anything she would do would make Meggan mad. And that was her biggest fear, of Meggan being mad at her, letting Meggan down.
And the Quest Foundation.
Sure. Did you and Kacee have any discussions about her relationship with Meggan from 2020 on?
We've had multiple talks, yeah.
Would that be on the phone or in person or by text or Facebook or some other means?
All of the above.
Okay. And during those conversations, did she express to you her feelings about Meggan?
Yes.
And what kinds of expressions did she convey to you?
Meggan and Kacee were close, and then their relationship changed. Kacee felt like she lost her friend. She would tell me that she felt like she just couldn't die fast enough for Meggan's liking, and that their relationship changed from being a friend that used to call to check on her with sincere reason or take her to lunch. All it was, how's your health? It always went back. She told me multiple times, I wish I just had my friend back. And everything isn't just health.
Did you and Kacee ever have any conversations about life insurance?
No.
Let me show you, it has not been admitted yet, so just for the witness, Exhibit 30, please.
Did you say 30?
30, yes. Okay, is that up in front of you now?
Yes,
Do you recognize this document?
I do.
Have you seen this specific document before?
I have one like it with my name on it.
Okay. And so other than, well, let me ask you, on your document that's like it, is it there the same date up in the upper left-hand corner?
Yes,
And the same caption at the top or title with a policy number?
yes.
Is your policy number the same or different?
I am not sure.
Okay. Below that is a line that says benefits provided, and then going across amount and benefits. Is that the same on your document?
Yes,
And then what is listed underneath there, is yours the same other than the name?
Judge, I'm really sorry. And I apologize to counsel.
Is the
We are
monitor
having a
set?
problem with the screen, and I don't want to be fidgeting and distracting the jury while counsel's doing her examination, and so I'm stopping doing that instead. No, it's going to a yellow, seems to maybe be going into a sleep mode or something. The light turns yellow and won't stay on me. I could probably live with it till the break, and then I'll stop fidgeting around and trying to fix it.
Let's
so
get
it's
it,
not a distraction.
let's get it done. Let's get it fixed. Let's take a break right now.
You sure?
Yeah, and let's get it done.
All right, I'm sorry about that.
If anybody can fix it, it will be a bailiff.
It won't be me. Get your gun out, Cole.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break right now. Might I remind you, you are admonished by the court that it is your duty to not converse among yourselves or converse with any other person on any subject of the trial, and it is your duty not to form or express an opinion thereon. Now the case is finally submitted to you. This includes no individual research on the parties, attorneys, or claims.
All rise for the jury.
Thank you. Please be seated. We're going to go back on the record on case number 251401132, State of Utah versus Sundwall. Have we got at least a temporary fix on the monitor?
Here's the duct tape holding.
Okay. If it doesn't, let us know and we'll try and figure out something over the weekend or early Monday morning or Monday night. We'll figure something out. All right, Ms. Clark, I'll remind you, you're still under oath. Thank you for your patience through this process. Counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Yeah, okay, we were talking about Exhibit 30 just for the witness still, if we can bring that back up. If you guys can't see it, throw a mint at me or something, okay? Or just say
I need
something.
my minute.
Okay, then just let me know.
It's up. Oh, it's up.
It takes about 4 times in learning.
Thank you.
Okay, let me know if you lose it again, all right? Okay, can you see that document now
Yes.
also? All right, and we talked about the top parts. Do you recognize the writing, the handwriting on the bottom part of that document?
I do. It's Casey's.
All right, the state would move to admit Exhibit 30.
No objection.
Court receives States Exhibit 30. Wish to publish?
Yes, please. All right, you mentioned, Kylie, that you had the same document at home. What does this document represent that you and Kacee both had, each in your own names?
So this is an insurance policy that my dad had started for me and Kacee in 1996.
And sorry, that's the date up at the top, 3/1996?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened with that policy?
I would say in about 2007 or 2008, he asked if we wanted to take over payments on him. It was a policy that he had for one for me and one for Kacee, but he no longer wanted to pay the premium on it, and he offered, we could cash it out early or continue to make a monthly payment on it if we wanted to keep that policy going. And both me and Kacee chose to cash out on those.
How do you know that Kacee decided to do that?
We were both together.
All right, and you believe that was in 2008-ish?
I got married in 2006, and so it was around 2007, 2008.
And you said you and Kacee cashed out at the same time?
Correct.
All right. Okay, we can take that document down. Thank you. We had talked about Kacee living at Meggan's house where she lived with her husband. When did Kacee, as far as you're aware, move out of that house?
Me and my husband moved her out around 2020
Why did you and your husband move her out?
because Kacee no longer felt safe living there.
How did she express that to you?
There were multiple phone calls that she felt like Meggan was trying to poison her. She just didn't feel comfortable being in that house anymore.
Did she indicate to you why it was she thought Meggan was trying to poison her?
She said that she felt like she had had a stroke one time, that she was having a hard time talking, coming up with words. And she's like, either I've been drugged or I'd had a stroke.
Did she express to you anything that she believed she had been poisoned with?
Insulin.
When you moved her out, was Meggan present at that time?
No.
Where was Meggan?
On a vacation.
All right. As far as you know, was Meggan aware that Kacee was going to be moving out that day?
No,
Why is that?
because Kacee didn't want to make Meggan mad.
Okay.
And so for a few days, I gathered up boxes and totes, and then she packed things up. And then once Meggan and Mitch went to their family cabin, me and my husband took our trailer over there and moved her
Where did you move her to?
to my grandparents' basement in Highland.
When you were at Meggan's home moving Kacee out, did you personally see any indications that supported Kacee's fears that she had expressed to you?
Yes, Kacee showed me a bottle of insulin in Megan's fridge.
Did anybody else besides you see that?
I was the one there. I've been told that she has also shown.
If anything she was told is hearsay.
That's right.
It's the same.
All right. So you saw that and nobody else was with you at the time?
Correct.
Okay. Let us turn to August 12th. What was your first indication that day that there was something wrong with Kacee?
From the phone call or just in general?
What was your first indication that there was a problem with Kacee?
I did not get any phone calls or anything leading up for the whole day. I was not aware of anything that happened until later that night when I received a phone call from my Uncle Mark.
What time of day did you receive that phone call?
Around 9:30 at night.
What did Mark express to you in that phone call?
That he had gone downstairs to check on Kacee. It was, he was wrapping up for the night. He went downstairs and found Kacee. She was making some weird noises and kind of having a hard time breathing.
What did you think at that point?
She hadn't been real mobile from her knees, and so, I knew that after surgery you run the risk of blood clots, or if you don't get up and move around, that you can get fluid in your lungs and get pneumonia. And so I told him, well, let's call the ambulance and let's have her taken to the hospital and get her checked out. He held the phone down so I could hear, and it sounded like she was.
Take your time.
It was some noises. That I heard when I watched my dad die. He was struggling to breathe. She sounded like she was drowning.
When you heard that, what did you do?
I told Mark to call 911 and get her to the hospital.
What happened after that?
He told me that he told me that her friend was there.
How'd you respond to that?
I said, who? And he had to ask. And then he said, Meggan and her parents.
What did you say?
Get them out of there.
Why did you say that?
Because I knew that she was killing Kacee.
What happened after you said that to Mark?
Mark hung up with me and went to call 911. I got my kids to bed and I was in my pajamas, so I was getting my clothes on and told my husband, who was sitting on the bed by me, and we were both just getting our shoes on, getting ready to leave, and then Meggan called me.
How did her number come up to you? Did you have her in your phone as Meggan? Did you know who was calling when the phone rang?
Yes,
All right, what did you do?
I answered it.
Tell us about that conversation.
She said, "This is Meggan. I don't know if you know this or not, but Kacee's not doing well." And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure she's not." And she said, "I don't know if that she's not doing well." And I told her that I knew exactly what she was doing. And when I got Kacee to the hospital, the very first thing that I was going to have checked was her blood sugar level. And if it wasn't anything but normal, of a normal range, then I knew what she had done.
After you told Megan that you knew what she had done, what else happened in that conversation?
I told her she should probably not be there when the cops get there, and that she needed to leave.
Was that the end of the conversation?
Yeah, she gasped and then hung up.
Did you at some point get to the hospital where Kacee was?
Yeah, so me and my husband drove to American Fork Hospital. And we waited for 10 or 15 minutes for the ambulance to show up. And then we got a phone call saying that her needs would be better taken care of if she was transferred to the one at the point of the mountain, Holy Cross. So we ended up driving up to that hospital.
Okay. And was Kacee there when you got there?
She was, but we weren't allowed back there.
Were you able to see Kacee at some point?
When she got more stable, they let me back there.
Was she conscious?
No.
Were you ever able to talk to Kacee?
No,
How long was she in the hospital?
3 days.
What happened at the end of those 3 days?
We took her on life support and she died.
Kylie, had you ever spoken to Megan before August 12th, 2024?
Yeah,
Had Megan ever told you that Kacee had a DNR?
yes.
Did she tell you that on August 12th, 2024?
Not that I recall.
How did you, no, start that. At some point, did you find out that, that Kacee did not have cancer?
Yes.
When did you find that out?
The next morning after she was admitted, so the 13th.
Was that surprising to you?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Is it okay if I call you Kylie?
Yes.
As Ms. Thomas said, you're able to stay in this trial and watch the testimony of everybody who's testified before, right?
Correct.
And you've been here for every minute of the trial so far, right?
Correct.
So you know, for instance, that your sister for years told people, multiple people, that you were abusive to her, right?
I was not aware of that, no.
Until the trial?
Yes.
That's what I mean. I'm going to kind of go through that, and it's just so far, but it gives it a possibility to talk about things that have happened and you've learned recently, which I'm going to focus on a little bit because that gives you the benefit of being able to remember.
Okay.
So as you sat in this trial, you know that she told lots of people that you abused her and that you didn't like her and treated her poorly, right? You learned that she said that.
Just now.
That's not true, right?
We were very close.
And I appreciate that. I'm only going to talk about what you know about what Kacee told others right now in this part, okay? You know that she communicated to various people that your grandparents were mean to her. You remember that?
Yes.
That's not true, is it?
No.
You know that she told a lot of people, just like she told you, that she had cancer, right?
Correct.
Now you know that that's not true.
Yes.
And on that particular point, I mean, just describe your relationship with her, best friends, close, had a lot of family struggles, tragedies. And even though that's the case for years, she just flat out lied to you about being terminally ill with cancer, right?
Yes.
But you're close with your sister. You believed her, right?
Correct.
Told you things about her treatments and even had you take her to treatments that you now know weren't real, right?
The treatments I took her to were for whatever issue that she was having.
But she told you the issue was cancer.
There were other reasons I took her to the doctor.
Sure. And some of them were cancer. You thought she was doing chemo, right?
Correct.
To be clear, I'm not asking you this to challenge you. I'm just asking what you were told and what you learned that was false. Because given the relationship you had with her, it's fair to say, don't you think that she would think she could fool you by lying to you?
I don't think she was trying to fool me. I guess I don't understand your question.
That you would trust her enough because of your close relationship that her lies to you would work and you would believe them.
Okay.
You agree? That's what the relationship that she at least tried to foster with you would be, the idea that you're close enough, that you should believe her when she says extraordinary things like I'm dying of cancer. Do you think that fairly describes the relationship that you saw, that you're testifying about here?
Our relationship was a lot more than that, but yes.
It was. I'm just talking about the trust because we're back to this dynamic of why you would believe her. You believed her because of the closeness and the tightness of the relationship that you at least believe you had with her, right?
Yes.
And she led you to believe that she felt the same as you about the relationship, right?
Yes.
So while she led you, her sister, and that's the person who'd been through all this with her, led you to believe that she had this relationship of trust and everything. While she did that, as we just learned, you learned apparently in the trial, at least somewhat in the trial, even while she did that with and to you and succeeded, she was lying to others about your relationship, the relationship between you and her, right? That's what we just established.
Right.
Okay. And that applied, strike that. So that lie, let's just focus on the cancer lie. That cancer lie persisted over years, right?
Yes.
And you heard Mark testify about how he believed it, right?
Yes.
And you as a family believed it when she did it to you, right? And she was able to use things like the fact that packaging was coming regularly, for instance, to the home to help perpetuate the lie that was about cancer and things she didn't actually suffer from, right?
Yes.
I mean, you heard, she convinced you and Mark about having hospice in a house that Mark lived in, right?
Yes.
So can we agree? And I'm sorry for this, Karen, by the way, I really am. Looking back, understanding that you believed him and believed her when she didn't say things, that when she told you that she'd like you to come over and move her out of Meggan's house because Meggan was trying to kill her, that Kacee could be somebody lying to you to get what she wanted. I mean, isn't that fair?
I'm not sure what the benefit of her moving out of that house would have been other than her fearing for her life.
Let's talk a little bit about that. And that wasn't, I don't want to sort of veer off. I understand your answer, understanding why you made it. The question was more about, in hindsight, if you could agree with me that she very well could have been lying. She was the liar, and all you knew about what she wanted to get out of
that she wanted you to move away when you guys went over there. When Mitch and Meggan were there, only reason you think it was because of Meggan, her fear of Meggan, is because Kacee told you it was her fear of Meggan, right?
I don't think Kacee would have moved out that day.
And I'm gonna stop you. I'm not asking what you think about it. I just want to ask you, isn't your only source of knowledge? The only reason that you moved her out of Meggan's house, the only reason you did what you did, you did it because to get her away from somebody that she feared, right?
Correct.
According to her, is all I'm saying. You never saw Meggan act in any way against Kacee that was harmful. You never personally saw it, right?
Physically, or what do you mean?
Harmful that would cause her fear. Kacee told you, I fear her, right? I think that you said that. Do you agree that that's what Kacee told you?
Yes.
And that she was afraid of Meggan, right? Yes.
Yes.
And that was I'm just talking about this incident of moving out. You acted on that because Kacee told you and you believed her, right?
Yes, but I had reason to.
Well, you talked about the bottle of insulin?
No, about all the text messages that I had got from Meggan throughout the years, prying on insurance policies and things like that
To you.
to me.
Okay, we can address that. You're aware that the government sees, possesses, and has all of the information out of Meggan Sundwall's phone, right?
Yes,
Have they shared that with you?
I've shared it with him.
Have you the communications between you and Meggan?
Yes,
Okay, so certainly when you moved Kacee out of Meggan's home, it could only be based on the communications you'd gotten up until that point in 2020. Can we agree on that? Certainly couldn't have moved her out of that house on the basis of text that you received after 2020. So it's everything before then that you would have known that would have caused you to believe Kacee. Is that what we're talking about?
throughout the years, even after 2020, I would receive text messages or messages on Facebook from Meggan asking about.
We can just focus on the moving out. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
The only reason I felt justified of moving Kacee out was because of the constant checking that justified the fear that Kacee had.
the Kacee claimed to you of fear of being poisoned once, right? She once told you that she thought Meggan had poisoned her.
Yes,
She told you once that she said, she thinks she's trying to kill me. You said, I feel like I have a stroke or something.
yes.
Now, with all these things, no one ever, you especially, ever suggested she call the police, right?
No, she didn't want us to. She didn't want to make Meggan mad.
That's right. So while she would tell you all these things that would be crimes, she would also tell you, don't tell anyone else, don't tell the police, don't let it go any further. That's how Kacee dealt with you, right?
Yes, getting Kacee out of that house was enough comfort for her. That was her issue. She didn't feel that she needed to get police involved.
So you didn't know until this trial, I take it, that she just constantly and continuously still talked to Meggan, talked about her health issues, talked to her about wanting Meggan to be with her, talked about suicide, all these things. You didn't know that until after Kacee passed, fair?
They talked all the time about Kacee being sick and passing.
Did you know how close Kacee was with Meggan's family?
Yeah.
So you knew that Kacee felt like Meggan's family were her family?
Yes. Kacee had a lot of those people that she called mom and dad. We didn't have,
Who else?
we had a close family friend, Barbara, that we called Barbara Mom. Her mother-in-law, she
By the
called
way,
Mama Joe.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. By the way, have you ever told the police any of the things we're hearing right now?
What do you mean?
You've done interviews with the police officers, right?
I've had one interview with a police officer.
Okay, the police officers talked to you the 13th after, the day after, technically, Kacee went to the hospital, right?
It was around the 13th, yes.
I want to walk through that process a little later, but I just want to establish, then there was a time you had communications on the phone with Detective Barney anytime you wanted, right?
Right.
Certainly you were available for the police to be interviewed on any and all subjects. You would have answered all their questions, right?
Yes.
And anytime they did reach out to you, you answered anything that they thought they wanted to ask you. Is that fair?
Yes.
You were in court, for instance, when I think you said you were here the whole time, so you heard what she said and how she talked in the Mother's Day text she said to Megan's mother, right?
Yes.
Is that all stuff she told you too? She tell you all those things about how alone she felt and how abused she felt by your family, and no one would come downstairs and help her, even when she was dying and the hospice nurses were coming in and out, they were stealing her pills, all that stuff, long text. I agree with laborious to read.
Yeah.
Based on all the things she had told you, and any other beliefs that you had in relation to those things she had told you about Meggan, that's why when Mark called on the 12th, you immediately said to Mark, when you learned Meggan was there, Meggan is killing Kacee. You told Mark right off the bat that that was happening, right?
Yes.
And it's because of all those things that Kacee told you, and the things that she showed you, and the things you talked about, and the opinion that you had about them, that you also said that to Meggan, right? You said when Meggan called, calmly, I think you said telling you about your sister not doing well, I think was the words you heard, that you lit into her heart, right?
She did.
Because based on the things that your sister had told you and the beliefs that you had built up because of those, she had made you think that. Kacee had made you think that would happen, right? That's why you
Kacee,
said it.
that and also the interactions that I've had with Meggan throughout the years.
Okay, so based on your belief, though, is the point is that, and I'm not challenging the feelings you had. I just want to make clear that those feelings were strong, right?
Yeah.
And you lit in to Meggan. I'm not challenging whether you should have. I just want to establish what facts you. Fair enough?
There was raised voice and some choice language, but it was not as big of a deal. If your sister was dying, I'm sure you would act the same way.
If you thought what you thought was true, right? You would act the same way.
Yeah, and all of the pieces added together in my head. I had fear.
And now all the pieces have fallen apart, given what we know, how Kacee truly lived on the other side of her life, right?
In some aspects, yes.
But just back to this point, just factually, I'm not challenging your emotions. I'm not challenging whether they were legit at all. Okay, I'm not. I just want the jury to understand that because of those, what Meggan heard was a really angry sister named Kylie, right?
Yes.
Who was, like you said, choice words. You were letting her know that you were going to cause her trouble.
No.
Told her to get out, never set foot on the property again. She'd be arrested.
No.
You didn't tell her that?
No.
Do you recall, very close in time to this event, as a matter of fact, on August 22nd, 2024, that you were asked to, excuse me one moment. You were asked to fill out and type up a witness statement form that would be essentially under oath,
Yes.
trying to say what you remembered then. Agreed?
Yes.
And you did that, right?
Yes.
And submitted it. And that was very close in time to the events, right?
Yes.
So is it fair to say that that's probably you had a better recollection then than you would now, almost a couple years later, right?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
May.
I'm going to show you a document. It's just a document about, I just want you to look at it, and I'm just going to ask you if you recognize it. You recognize just what it is. There's some redactions up in the personal information. It says Kylie Michelle Terry Clark. That's you, right?
Yes.
It's Lone Peak Public Safety District Police Department statement form, right?
Yes.
And then there's this, what I was referring to as a warning in italics that you can't make a false statement or that'd be a crime, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, you to look at that. Does that look like the statement that you submitted back days after your sister died?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as you look at that, Go down, it's in sort of line format, right? It's in, hold on, you can describe it. There's boxes for each sentence, is that right?
Yes.
You walk through that and read down through it. First of all, it refresh your recollection about what you told Mark when he called you.
Yes.
And now that was, you understood that Mark was calling you before he was calling the police, right?
Yes, because he wasn't sure what was going on.
Well, we're not allowed to testify what other people knew or were sure of. I'm just asking you what your understanding was. That Mark called you first, right?
Yes.
And then you told him to call 911 because you told him Meggan is killing Kacee, right?
Yes.
So Mark is there, present in that house, and then he hears you say the accusation that Meggan is killing Kacee, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you characterize him as confused about, sounding confused apparently, and then he hung up, right?
What do you mean?
Then Mark hung up on that call.
He don't have to call the cops, yes.
Again, we can't testify why other people did things, but you knew that he sounded confused in response to your statement about Meggan killing Kacee, but he hung up the phone after he sounded confused, right?
He didn't sound confused. He didn't question anything. He hung up the phone and called the cops.
Okay, in fairness, I don't want anyone to think I'm being misleading or anything. Look at your statement where it says, he said, what? Confused. And I said, hang up now and call. That's what you wrote in your statement, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure no one thinks I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm just reading off of your statement. And it's here to refresh your recollection. Because we're going to move to the next section, your statement, which is about, like you said, you're describing how you were going to the bathroom, getting dressed, and getting ready to go to the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you said, that's consistent. And then you described in your statement, turning the bottom of that and onto the next page, you made a description in your statement about what you did and said to Meggan. Right?
Yes.
So I just want to be fair. I want to let you read through that because we were on that subject before I handed you this document. Subject of what and how you said to Meggan and how you thought she responded, right?
Right.
And tell me when you've read through that part.
Okay.
And then I will ask you, or just tell me when you're finished, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Then does that help refresh your recollection about what really had actually occurred on that night?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened was you were very, very angry in your expression towards Meggan, right?
I wasn't very angry. I said a word that I don't care to say out of anger. And still, I don't want to say it in court.
I'm not asking you to say the words.
And so I wrote colorful language.
I don't want you to say anything you don't want to say. I just want to establish that. And then we understand why you were, I think. I think your testimony explained your emotions at the time. Just trying to factually get sure to know what Meggan heard. And what Meggan heard was you being angry, agreed?
Yes.
Including with, as you say, colorful language. I think we all know
No
what I mean.
choice word.
Telling her to get out,
I told her she needed to leave, yes.
never set foot in again,
That she was not welcome at the house, yes.
never set foot on the property again, or you'd have her arrested, right? Addressed to her that you thought you knew what she had tried to do in the past, right?
Yes.
Specifically about insulin and Kacee, right?
Yes.
You addressed to Meggan that you knew everything, including you told Meggan, I know you tried to kill my sister.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just establishing what Meggan heard. And then what you heard, and again, further, the expression that you were giving to her, your own characterization of what you were expressing to Meggan was expressing things that would cause her fear.
Okay.
Right? That's what you said in the statement. Is that fair? I only want to be fair with what this helps you remember. That's what you wrote, right? Fear, the word fear.
Yes, and I don't think I meant put fear into Meggan. It was out of fear. A lot was going on. There was a lot of uncertainty and just a lot going on right then. And all I wanted was for her to get away from my sister.
I appreciate what you felt just establishing what she heard. And what your own words in describing what she would hear was fear and choice words were also included. That's what you remembered, right?
That's the one.
Right?
Yes.
And you also remember how you recall Meggan, you characterized how you felt she responded, right?
Yes.
That she was gasping like she was stunned. That's how you thought she heard you and responded when you made those accusations and said what you were going to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. You specifically were referring to that insulin situation and the use of insulin when you were exclaiming these things to her, right?
Yes.
Specifically talking about getting things tested at the hospital and going back to the notion that you knew she'd killed her, right? Now, at that time, when you felt that way, and that's what Meggan heard, and how she reacted, you didn't know, like you know now, that for years and years, Kacee had been repeatedly recruiting Meggan to be telling Meggan about her desire to use insulin to commit suicide, right? You didn't know that on this day when you yelled those things.
Insulin had been a talk for years between the two of them.
You and Kacee, right? Had been talk. You didn't know. Let's talk about suicide. And in fairness, you didn't know what you know now about the fact that for years, Kacee had been talking about actually trying to commit suicide by use of insulin. You didn't know that when you had this phone call. You didn't know that, right?
No.
You didn't know that had been going on all the way up till August 12th. You didn't know that by this day, right?
The only thing I knew of was the one instance where she thought Meggan had given her insulin.
According to her, and that was in 2020, 4 years before, right?
I'm not aware of the time. It was when she lived at Megan's house in Lehigh,
When you moved her out.
before I moved her out.
Which
And
was-
that was what jump-started it.
So 4 years ago, you had known that, but you didn't know what you know now, that even on the 12th, it was your sister talking about and planning and scripting out using insulin at your grandparents' house to cause her life today. When you made this call and had these words for Meggan, you didn't know that, right? In fairness, you didn't know.
I don't understand what you're calling.
You didn't know what you know now about all of the years-long discussions that Kacee was having with Meggan about Kacee trying to use insulin to end her own life. You never knew that, did you?
We had many conversations about insulin and Meggan.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be difficult, and if I'm doing this in a poor way, I'm sorry. But I'm only addressing whether you knew that for years, your sister had been talking to Meggan about how your sister could end her life by using insulin, end her own life. You didn't know that.
No.
That was all left out when you had your reaction that you had and had this call with Meggan. That's all I'm trying to establish. We're in agreement now?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry for constantly, to everyone in the room. I think always clear my throat. Dr. Master gave me some ideas. In the relationships that you were talking about, other friends that Kacee had, did she talk to you about her other friends' set?
Not really.
You had mentioned some names. I think one name that you had mentioned was Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle Tingy.
Yes, that was her best friend.
You said you thought that was her best friend?
That was her best friend.
Well, you know what you know by sources, right? Is that what she told you, that was her best friend?
No.
So she never told you I'm just trying to understand how you came,
Michelle and Kacee had been best friends since 6th grade.
so that's why you say that she was her best friend?
Other than she proved it, yes.
Other than what?
Then she proved it, yes. She was always there for Kacee.
Now, did you know about, I think that you knew about Casee's opiate addiction problem?
I didn't know the extent of it,
Oh, you didn't know until this case started?
yes.
Wasn't there a time that she addressed that in therapy? That she went to treatment?
It was a long, long time ago.
So what you mean is you didn't know that she had relapsed and you didn't know how bad it had gotten, right?
Yes.
And did you know at the time that she and Michelle were used together?
Objection. That would be hearsay, Judge.
Mr. Williams?
Let me rephrase the question.
Thank you.
Did Kacee ever tell you about the fact that she and Michelle used drugs together?
No.
Thank you. I think there's been a subject that came up that you're aware of that had to do with your sister stealing money from your grandparents. You learned that, right?
Yes.
Kacee never told you that she was doing that, of course, right?
No.
The subject of having to trade drugs that she had for Xanax from other people, so she could use drugs that she wasn't prescribed. She didn't tell you that, right?
No.
You were asked about the subject of suicide, and I think you said that she didn't talk to you about suicide.
No.
But now you know that she talked to others about it, right? If you need a break, or if this is tiring, Kelly, that is absolutely okay. And you'll get it from the courtroom from me, and there's, I think, tissues and things and water.
Okay.
Ms. Clark, we can break for a few minutes. That would be easier for you. I don't think it's a problem at all.
Not at all.
Let's go and take a few minute break. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, you are admonished by the court that it is your duty not to converse among yourselves or to converse with any other person on any subject of the trial. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion thereon until the case is finally submitted to you. This includes no individual research on the parties, attorneys, or claims.
Yeah, they was as close as she wanted them to be. Like, I think that this is heartbreaking because I think the sister doesn't know that what she thought was going on with her sister and she thought they were close, they really wasn't that close. Is what I'm getting out of this. Like, you didn't know she was stealing. You didn't know she had relapse. You didn't know this.
If
Like,
we had,
yeah.
I know we're getting close to 5, but if we had about 10 minutes, I would endeavor to streamline,
That's fine.
and we might say more than 10.
We're going to be able to finish this witness tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm committed to that.
Well, no, I think it's been a long week for the jury,
And for
and I
everyone
think
here.
that goes without saying. I think they're getting tired too. So let's work through this witness and then we'll
I'm going to
talk
spend the
about what
next,
we're going to do.
whatever time you give me now, making that time reduce the rest of my examination by equal measure.
It's okay. And then we'll have redirect from the state. And that may be it for this week then.
I'll get to work.
Depending where we're at. We're going to go back on the record on case 251-401-132, State of Utah versus Sundwall. We are in the middle of cross-examination with Mr. Williams. Ms. Clark, hopefully that was a good break for you.
Thank you.
for coming back up. Let's get finished with this witness, and I think then we're going to be done for the week. Go ahead, counsel.
I don't have any further questions.
No? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Redirect.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Mr. Williams, when your sister was alive and you were interacting, you didn't have any reason to disbelieve her, did you?
No.
All right, but you have since learned that some of what she told you about herself was not true,
Correct.
right? She told you that she had cancer and that's not true, right?
Correct.
Did you have reason to believe that supported what she was telling you?
Yeah. I mean, I took her to doctors. I picked up prescriptions. I watched her body deteriorate. She went I mean, I watched her violently throw up when I would go to visit. And there was no reason that what she was telling me would not be the truth.
You didn't have any reason to question her?
No.
And there were things that you knew that were accurate, right, about her health condition?
Correct.
Like what, for example?
Her endometriosis, her knee replacement,
Her kidney?
her kidney, yes.
Even when you believed her to be suffering from terminal cancer, had she ever expressed to you a plan to end her life?
Not to me, no.
And you talked with Mr. Williams some about why you feared on August 12th that Meggan had done something to Kacee.
Correct.
Do you recall those questions?
Yes,
And your fear was specifically that Meggan was killing Kacee with insulin?
correct.
Right. And as far as you know, what did Kacee die from?
An insulin overdose.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions, Mr. Waters?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Clark, you can step down.